Hey, now this is the champ, man.
Hey,
What's going on, Mr.
everything
Yorton,
under the sun, man. Life is
Florida
great,
Pro,
my brother, man. Thank you
Mr.
for having me
President?
on, man. Thank you so much. Uh, yeah, so everything's well, man. You know, only forget 'em. Only
No
forget 'em.
problem.
Do I rock a beanie in the middle of the summer? We down here in Florida, bro, and I'm rocking a beanie, man. A beanie. I'm just glad that I got the AC running, man. We good, man. We are good, brother.
Hot Florida. Me too.
Yeah.
So now the big topic today. Every prep is different. So I have learned that many times because some people get like one diet and they be like, "Oh, I'm good. I stick the same diet," but then they don't realize that body constantly changing. It could be, I mean, it could be the they doing more stuff. They doing their job could change. The body could change. The body could react different. So every prep is different. So I'll let you go ahead and tell us first of all your background, so people know who you are. Tell us your
So a little bit
background,
about me, man.
how
My
you got
background
into
is,
not only the fitness,
I'm
but
a
also into your
dietitian by
business as
trade.
well.
You know, I was in the military for 8 years, and you know, I got out. I started bodybuilding. I started personal training, and then I took it to the next level. Started getting real involved with nutrition. Got certified, got licensed, became a registered dietitian, and everything else been rocking and rolling from there, man. I kind of hold myself accountable. Also started coaching. And, you know, what I do as a trade day to day goes hand in hand with what we do as bodybuilders, what we do as far as the motivation, what we do as far as the coaching and counseling aspect of bodybuilding. It really goes hand in hand with what I do by trade. So, you know, it's almost like a match made in heaven, bro. So I'm just enjoying the process, enjoying helping people. And, yeah, man, just trying to take it to new levels, man. That's it, bro. Yes, sir.
Now tell us what you mean by every prep
Yeah,
is
man, you
different.
had
'Cause
hit
some
on a
people may
couple
not
of
know
those
it.
things.
So go ahead and
As
tell
your
us
body changes
about what you
from
mean
year
by
to
that.
year, as it should, especially if you're progressing. Many people, they go for weight. You know, when I reach this certain weight, I know that I'm ready. Well, you know, as we're coming down, maybe you may be chopping into too much muscle competing at the same weight year in and year out, because as you advance, as your bodybuilding career continues, your body's going to change. You're going to gain more muscle. So just being mentally prepared to be at a higher stage weight, some people can't grasp. So that alone, man, and even from the mental standpoint, you know, a lot of people think about bodybuilding, they think about the stage, the day of. But in actuality, man, it's bodybuilding. It's the entire body is what people don't really, you know, put into perspective when they see what we do, or even us as competitors day to day. You know, it's not just about the physical aspect of bodybuilding. Every prep is different, from the mentality, the psychology of it. You know, your mental health is just as important as that physical health, just hitting the gym day to day. So that's what I mean by every prep is different, man. We all driven by different motivations. We're all driven by different levels of discipline, and you know, trying to find that stride, hit those macros day in and day out. Your life, man. We got life outside of bodybuilding. There's other things outside of bodybuilding that can kind of impede and just impact your prep. So that's what I mean by, you know, every prep is really different, man.
Now, say for somebody who is not competing, somebody that's just trying to do it to stay healthy, they might be diabetic or whatever the case may be. What diets do you usually like? How do you do their diets, as far as like if they come one time to get a diet plan or get a routine, then they come again?
So, you know,
how often do they come to get change in the diet plan?
Which is, hey, you know, here's the nutrition protocol. Let's make sure that we stick to these things. Hey, make sure you hit your macros every day. And then there's the dietitian side of things, more of the clinical side, which, hey, what is your life like? You know, what I can't just prescribe a diet to someone and expect them to 100% execute like an athlete, right? So it really takes a lot of that coaching aspect, that accountability aspect. So if someone comes, which is what I do from the day-to-day inside of my private practice as a dietitian, I would meet with that person, go over, what are they currently doing right now, start with where they are, start to make realistic goals, just kind of what things that you learn just in life in general as far as making smart goals. Where are you at now? Now how can we progress in a sensible, realistic way? So I say that to say diabetes is my clinical wheelhouse. So that's where I focus in from the clinical standpoint. And, just basic carb counting for those who may be impacted by, blood sugar issues or whatever the case may be. We start there. Can you count your carbohydrates in intervals? From the clinical aspect, we count it by 15. For most men, I tell them, hey, it's 15 grams per counting interval. So for most men, 45 grams to 60 grams is perfect for one sitting. So once we learn that aspect for someone who has diabetes, we kind of start there with the educational piece.
You ever had somebody have a goal in a time frame that may not be realistic, so you have to tell them realistically, like, because they might be able to stick it to their diet, something like that. You'd be like, okay, realistically, this is the time frame you're looking at. If you stick to the diet, so somebody might say, I want to get like this in 1 month or 2 months, be shredded up or whatever. And you'd be like, well, have you ever had somebody like that? And how do you tell them realistically this is what you're looking at, or
what I tell
this
most people is that
this is your outcome if you do
not to
if you
go
do this.
with the end of prep. I want you to be this weight. I want you to be, at this level when you do compete. Now, obviously, we want to be conditioned. We want to get up there and compete, right? We're not just walking up trying to take pictures on stage. And on the other hand, there's when people come in, I give them the real. Listen, wherever you are right now, what's evidence-based, what's realistic weight loss. I explain what weight loss looks like and what fat loss looks like. And I tell most people, what we're aiming for at the maximum is 2 pounds of body fat per week. That looks like 8 pounds in a month. That looks like, when we pipe down the line, if you can, and that's gunning at it, right? So we're talking 25 pounds in 12 weeks. If you ready, some people come in and do it and execute, and some people need a little bit more time. I tell people that, hey, the slower you peel that fat off, the better. So when people come in with unrealistic goals, that's my job as a real coach to let them know, hey, this is what the expectation is going to be. This is what's realistic weight loss, and this is what you can probably expect over the next, 12 to 24 weeks. So everyone's prep is going to be different in that sense. So some people come to me, man. Hey, some people come, it could be, 10 weeks out. But no. You're going to learn how to prep, how to come out of prep, how to have a nice recovery food plan coming out of competition. So no matter where a person is, I at least say, give me 5 months, give me 6 months to actually work with you. So we learn what bodybuilding is all about. It's more than just getting up there and flexing. It's more than just dialing down, coming into the show. But it's a lifestyle, man. We try to teach that.
Now, let's talk like for an example. If somebody was doing this like you was doing, like you doing show to show. If they was going from, let's say, one they want to come fuller for one show, or one show they're gonna be shredded for another show. Give an example of what kind of diet you would give them. It don't have to be exactly. It don't have to be by anybody, but just like a rough, so people can see the difference between the plan for one show for another show, for one look for another.
So
look.
To answer your question,
how the diet
what I typically do is
manipulate or change.
Dial someone in to be their absolute best for that show. So it's not that we're going for a different type of look per se, but it's more so to, hey, can we compete at your utmost potential? Can we get the best out of this physique at this time? So that's why this is a progress sport. I tell people all the time, don't be afraid not to, don't be afraid to compete if you're not feeling like you're going to be, say, 100%. There are so many aspects of bodybuilding. Can you go through the mental capacity to dial yourself down, to be consistent, to get on stage, to hit these poses, right? So to answer your question, man, we're going for the absolute best physique. Whatever that looks like, that's why each prep is going to be different. But what we'll do is always focus on progression. That's the biggest key. So when people are going from show to show, did you look better than your last show? Or did you hold that conditioning down? Because we want you in fighting form. Don't make no bones about it. We want you at fighting form every time you step out. So your progression isn't that you left something on a table. Your progression is that you actually got better at being your best. Does that make sense? So that's how I kind of coach a lot of my guys. We're gonna go 100% of with the time that we have.
Makes sense.
To the time that you want to get on stage. Whatever you display at that moment is going to be 100% of your capacity. And then the next time you step on stage, you're going to get better. What that better looks like, it could be posing. It could be stage presence. Obviously, it could be your physique. But as long as our conditioning, we want to be 100% conditioned at that moment for our show and just get better in all aspects of bodybuilding, man.
Now, I had to ask, somebody asked me the other day, and you probably hear this question a lot. What weight gainer should I take? Because people are trying to put on size, and I know you big on not doing weight gainers because you need your best protein you can get is from meats, from the food source itself. But there's a lot of people who out there think you put weight gainer on, you get all this weight. You turn it into muscle, and you be big.
A lot of people have a different
what's your intake on that?
Philosophies as far as, what's the best protocol. And I'm assuming that you're talking about the progress season. We're not talking about competing in the competition season while you're kind of getting on stage, but outside of the off season. So, or what we call the progress season. No. So with the progress season, I keep it real. We're not going to use the progress season. Here, I'll say it like this.
Yeah.
If you put on, let's say naturally within the course of a year, all right, in the course of a year, we're talking natural bodybuilding, that is, not enhancements, but a natural bodybuilding, what would be the maximum muscle mass that a person could possibly put on in a course of 12 months? We're not talking about high schoolers. We're talking about grown people, all right, trained athletes. It's probably going to be somewhere between 5 and 7 pounds. Keeping it real, and that's if you're firing on all cylinders. Now, here's the issue with just piling on X amount of weight. Now, let's just say I already told you that maximal. Let's say it's 8. Let's say 8 pounds, max 8 pounds. If your 8 pounds of muscle mass comes with 25 pounds of body fat, think about what it's going to be like. How much of that muscle mass you're going to keep while you're dialing it down? You see. So I don't care what anyone says, it's impossible to maintain every single progress of your muscle mass while dialing down and keep it off. Okay? So it would make any sense to put on maximum amount of body fat for maximum growth when you can keep it tighter, grow through the process, the less body fat you put on is the most muscle mass that you keep. Why? Because when you're pulling it back, when you're dialing it down, you don't have to peel off as much fat. The less fat you have to pull off, the more muscle mass you keep. So to answer your question, I'm not going to go into muscle gainers and all these types of things because we're natural athletes. Do you want to beat yourself down? Do you want to kill yourself in cardio to get ready for the next competition the next year? No. You don't want to do that. So, my whole thing is the tighter you keep it during the progress season, the less body fat that you put on, the more muscle mass that you keep. So I'm going to say food first, man. Keep that tight. Now, 8 pounds of muscle gain, 25 pounds of body fat, or 5 pounds of muscle gain, 10 pounds of muscle of body fat gain. You see what I'm saying? Totally different ball game. Totally different ball game. So that's my take on that. Being a natural athlete, you know, natural gains, thinking about the entire process of prep, keep it tighter. You'll be able to keep on more of your skeletal muscle mass that you work so hard for throughout the year. Every prep is different, man. Everybody's gonna prep different, but hey, this just my take, man. You know, from a champ mindset.
Now, what kind of meats and stuff you use on your diets? Like, give it like a.
Not, I mean, I don't.
You don't use pork, do you? Anything like that?
It boils down to preference, my brother. So, I'm not a big pork eater. It's not to say that pork can't work, but you know, I keep the variety. I like variety, you know. And then when it comes time, like right now, I'm so locked in for the Yorton Cup. I don't care about variety. I eat chicken all day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I don't care. Whatever I got available for the protein. But in all actuality, for people, I understand that, you know, if we're not at that level, then that's totally fine. What I would recommend is that for people who actually need that variety, we're talking about people who are getting into the sport. We're talking about even people who need that, who may feel like they need that that variety to keep them more compliant. That's the biggest idea. What is going to make you most compliant? So for me, I like to start out when I'm starting prep as much as variety as possible. I'll start out with a chicken, a ground, some type of ground meat. Doesn't matter if it's turkey or ground beef, and then some type of steak at night. I try to keep that variety within my food plan so it doesn't feel psychologically like I'm so burned out. And to the point where you reach where you're like so locked in, you're seeing gains, you're so motivated to where, you know what, where's chicken at? You know, so variety first, and then as you dial down, man, just keeping things consistent. So right now for me, it's just chicken, fish, and steak. Yeah. Oh man, the Captain's Cup, baby.
Now, tell us about your show you got going on next year.
Being an athlete, there are certain things that drive me to a show. It's certain things that's just so memorable, right? So the shows that I remember isn't the ones that I necessarily won, because I won a lot, as you know. But, man, it's the experience that I gained through the event. So what we're trying to do with the Captain's Cup, let me retract that. What we're going to do in the Captain's Cup, we're going to make the Captain's Cup so memorable for the competitors to where they want to tell everybody. All right, from the moment that they sign up, we want to have, you know, a great deal of just embracement. A lot of times, you know, that first competition that you came up, man, you had little cliques here, people just spread out, nobody really understanding what's going on. We're going to be all full hands on deck, having the most welcoming crowd. We might have a DJ over there, call your name up when you're coming up. Oh, we got, you know, just make you feel welcome, man. We want to have a red carpet event, do things that just hasn't been done in bodybuilding. So I say that to say, as an athlete, man, I want to give back. I want to give memories to these athletes. You know, no matter, I mean, outside of placement, I want them to say that the Captain's Cup was an event that I'm never going to forget. That, and I have those shows that I have those memories. So that's what we want to create with the Captain's Cup, man. March 2023, it's going to be a red carpet event, man. We rolling it out. We leaving. We holding nothing back, man. Yeah. So it's going to be down here in Tampa. Still working on a venue. So, you know, we got a venue, but, you know, it's always nice to have backup plans. I just want to make the best venue possible. Obviously, within the budget, it is our first year. But we still want, we're not gonna cheap our athletes on the venue, because those pictures mean everything. We want you to have the one thing that's good that you're going to get at the Captain's Cup. You're going to get you some good pictures. Listen, at the Captain's Cup, your stage is going to be superb. It's going to be something to talk about. That's what we're doing. You're going to have some awesome, great pictures. My goal is to say, when they see that stage, they say, where the picture man? Where's the picture man? Because I'm gonna need these pictures. All right. So, yes, sir. Man,
that's what
you know
up,
me.
Man.
I have to defend.
So what shows you got? Shows you got going on the rest of the year?
You see the name change. Mr. Yorton. For those who know exactly what it is, they know why the name changed. I'm just hoping that we can put some little numbers behind that after this year. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Yorton. So we're definitely going to pop up at the Yorton Cup, man. We're 5 weeks out from that. You know, I feel good about it. Feel like we're going to bring a great package. And then we're going to follow that up right here in Tampa at the Tampa Natural, Jenny Rodriguez's show. It's going to be one of the first, actually, we can call that the first OCB show of the year because, you know, the season starts after the championship show. So that's going to be the first men's physique, and they do have a pro men's physique division there. So I'm super pumped up. I'm so excited about the show that's coming to Tampa. You know, the OCB don't put a lot of shows everywhere. They ain't like other organizations. They don't care what hey, a pro pop up. Just pop a pro show up. But the OCB actually are methodical about, you know, where they place their pro shows. So I'm excited to be, you know, in front of the home crowd. I don't get to compete in front of the home crowd as much, especially at my home organization. So I'm pumped up and excited for the Tampa Natural. But even more excited, obviously, man, I got to focus in on first things first, and that's the Yorton Cup, baby. So those are my last two shows that I'll do to end the year out, man. That's what's on my mind this year. So, yeah, we'll see, man. Yep. Man, that's what I'm talking about.
Nice.
Every prep is different.
Thank you very much for the interview, man.
This
for
prep
sure,
right
man.
here for me, I'm salivating. I'm drooling down. I'm just trying to chop these competitors up on, you know what I'm saying, like a piece of meat.
Nice.
Fight down like a pit bull. No, I'm just joking, man. I'm joking, man. But no, hey man, I appreciate you for having me, man, and I wish the podcast, you know, much success. I love what you're doing, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Get him! You know what I'm saying? When I win it, I'm gonna be like, get him! You know. But appreciate you, man. You got it.